welcome here to a very special edition of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Of course, we are in the Travel Great Lakes Honda City studios because I am down in the Sunshine State. I am in our second home, my second home personally, and the second home of Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, which is the great state of Florida. Wake Up Call does a lot of work down in Florida, as well as Do Diz with Dan, our Disney show, and of course Superpowered Pop, which is covering the opening of Universal Epic Universe in its first 2 weeks. So a lot of great stuff going on. I am here picture in picture with who I consider to be one of the GOATs that I have met in the Moyne world and in softball in general. Laura Bennett, most of you know her as LB. I know her as the person that did what a lot of pitchers don't do in Major League Baseball, which is come in for a game and then, oh yeah, Laura, we need you for about an inning or two. And then, hey, a couple days from now, can we bring you in again? So I know she's humble. I know she's kind, but I get to speak very highly of her as one of the greatest that we have seen as a student athlete at Moyne, not just softball, but overall as a student athlete. And I've already thrown my vote into the hat for the Gold Wave Hall of Fame for Laura at some point. So if you're listening, Gold Wave, my vote is very simple. Laura, how are we doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What do you think about the intro, Miss Humble? Are you okay with it?
Very nice. Thank you so much.
Well, you deserve it. So in this edition of the Dolphin Dive, in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Moyne College, on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, we are reaching back to look forward as we celebrate the history of softball, as we also take a look at where softball is currently. So, Laura, for you, a year removed, how you doing? Do you get the itch? Do you feel like I should be on a mound somewhere right now, or has it finally kind of sunk in for you?
I definitely miss pitching for sure.
Okay.
It's just like a feeling that like it's gonna be hard to shake. But other than pitching, I'm okay. I think it hasn't been too long where I'm dying to get back out there. So yeah. I appreciate the rest right now.
Yeah, and for you, I mean, I alluded to it in the intro, but there was situations pitching wise for softball at Moyne where you were the consistent, the faithful, and I'm not taking away from anybody else on the staff, but you were the one that they leaned on, and it was pretty clear. So like you said, you're appreciating the rest right now, but at any given time, they were asking for LB to come back on the mound. Like, maybe you're not supposed to be in this game, and here you are late in the game. How used to that did you get of like, hey, I'm just gonna make sure that I'm ready just in case you need me?
Oh, I definitely, by the tail end, I was warming up as soon as I came back out after an inning. So you learn the pattern quickly.
What can you say to that effect? The fact that the team did lean on you so much on the mound. I mean, is that something that, I mean, obviously it could be nerve-wracking at times, I'm sure, but did you feel a sense of leadership? Did you feel positivity in that world of like, hey, I know what I could do. I know what I'm capable of. If they lean on me, I'm going to be the leader that they need. Did you feel that?
Yeah, I mean, throughout all of high school, I had a coach who prepared us for that and who always told us to, pressure's a privilege. So I got very comfortable with teams looking at me and kind of being that role in the circle. So it wasn't I was comfortable with it. I didn't mind it one bit, really.
Yeah. And so for you, like you said, you got used to it in the high school ranks, and you went to CPP, Corning Painted Post, out in Corning, New York. So bring me into Corning Painted Post and how you would describe your school days when we go back there.
Oh gosh, that was a while ago.
Not as long as me.
They were good.
Yeah.
They were good. I was lucky enough to kind of up for a couple years play for my varsity coach for travel as well. So I had a close relationship with him. We were very comfortable with each other. So it was a good dynamic. I grew very fond of the girls by my senior year. They were some of my best friends during the time. And, I was very grateful for that experience.
Yeah, like you said, you appreciate your time out there. Growing up in Corning in upstate New York, how would you describe Corning to someone who's never been there?
It's a very cute, picturesque town. It's small. Not a lot going on, but it is quite cute and has nice, pretty streets, and it's definitely a cute Christmas town. They light the streets up with lights. They have little parades, and it's just an honest, cute town.
And so, I mean, where are you now? Are you back home or are you elsewhere?
I'm in South Carolina now.
South Carolina, poor you. So, down in South Carolina, what part?
Beaufort, down south.
Okay, Beaufort, South Carolina. So, I got one of my closest friends, like a brother to me, Isaac Elford. That's where he calls home, is down in South Carolina. So, I know that we're going to get into a lot of things today, but you are currently planning your wedding for August. So, first and foremost, congratulations. I never got to meet the gentleman in person, but you and I follow each other on social media, so I got to see some pictures here. So, share with everybody who the lad is and why you've decided to say yes
Oh God.
and go ahead and get married. I want to know. I'm putting you on the hot seat. I want to hear some nice things about this guy.
He's just very respectable. He's funny. He makes me laugh all the time. He always makes me feel very loved and cherished and all the good things. And he stresses me out sometimes, but that's okay. That's all right. Yeah, he's just honest. He's respectful, and not much to it.
What's his first name?
Jake.
Jake. So, how did
hmm
Jake propose? I want to know.
So where we live currently, there is a waterfront. We're a waterfront town, and he proposed downtown waterfront on the weekend, and it was actually very funny because we walked waterfront and we were waiting, and then all of a sudden it was like the weekend before Halloween, and there were just about 20 paddleboarders coming at us dressed as witches,
Oh,
screaming like happy Halloween, and I can see the stress in his eyes, so I kind of knew something was up. So that's just a cute funny memory of that day.
so that wasn't part of the plan?
Nope, not at all.
So the 20 witches that just come toward you paddleboarding saying happy Halloween. I mean, I guess God has his humor, right? And I shouldn't say I guess. I know that God has his humor. But when you look back on it now, did he say to you like I had this whole plan and when that happened like I was thinking what am I going to do? Like I mean, at least you can say that you've had something unique. It's the first proposal that I've ever heard about witches on paddleboards.
Yep, it's definitely unique. It's funny. There are a couple pictures with these little paddleboarders in the back, so it's funny. So
That's amazing. Well, you said some nice qualities about him, and as you get ready for this, the preparation of it, it's in August. We are here in May. How far along are we in being done? And I'm asking this from a world of having to plan events and different things, so I can imagine that some of this goes to the wire. But how how comfortable are you feeling right now?
it's we're comfortable, I guess. I would say we're at a good like 70% done.
Okay.
We have like the necessities down, so
Okay.
that's all you need. So
It's very true. So it's going to be down in South Carolina.
in New York, we're going back
New
to New
York.
York from it. Oh God, stop.
Okay. So you're going back to New York. Okay. What? Sorry. Is it going? Is it back in Corning?
We're doing it in the Finger Lakes. I grew up in that area. We always had lake weekends up there, so fun memories there.
Okay. I love it. Well, congratulations again, and I'm sure that your the fellow alumni, as well as some of the current student athletes on the team, excited about this for you. I mean, this is the next chapter, right? You're down in South Carolina. You're going to be getting married. We're seeing the next part of your life, Laura, and at the same time, I feel like you were just on the mound. Do you have those moments where it feels like it happened yesterday or you have a dream and think that you're back there? Because to me, I guess I just heard your name so much, I thought, yeah, she's just going to be here every year.
Oh gosh. No, I definitely still get those moments. All the time. Actually, I'll be like, this is kind of crazy.
Okay.
Especially a year ago, I was graduating grad school, and we were coming home from our last away games, and all those memories flooding back. I'm like, wow, I can't believe it's only been a year. Like, at the same time, it feels so short but so long.
Yeah.
So it's a little surreal sometimes.
What do you miss the most?
I definitely, and I think part of it's with moving. I definitely miss seeing my friends every single day.
So when you look back, I mean, when it came to the softball team itself, what can you say to the friendships that you made on and off the field there?
They're definitely everlasting. You find your group, and your group stays with you. And I still talk to them all the time. And I just went and visited them for what I thought was going to be their last games that ended up getting canceled, as we know. So it was great to see all of them during that as well.
Yeah, so you went up for the Stonehill matchups?
Yes, I went up for the Stonehill, and then I drove upstate when they came to South Carolina to Rock Hill.
Oh, okay. So what was it like seeing them on the road in Rock Hill?
Oh, it was great. It was a little chilly for South Carolina. I didn't enjoy that, but it was nice seeing them play. And while I was there, like some friends hit some home runs, and that's all you can ask.
So when you talk about those friendships, and like you said, you got to see them. So when they were in Rock Hill, South Carolina, for the Winthrop Garnet and Gold tournament, which had St. John's, it had Winthrop, of course, Brown, Youngstown State, and Lemoyne a part of it. What were your fondest moments of being in the stands for that?
Um, for me, it was kind of seeing the growth.
Okay.
Like, some of my close friends are now graduated, but they were seniors this year. They were juniors, even like sophomores, and so it was just really nice and heartwarming to see the growth of not only the athlete they have become, but the person they have become.
And when you look at the mounds and how that's evolved for Lemoyne softball, what can you say about the pitching rotation and what you know of some that were there when you were there and then some that have come in? What can you say about the future of pitching, obviously, with that being such a big part of your history and connection with Lemoyne?
I think they have some great potential. They definitely had a few that looked good. I was really only there for one day, so I saw about like two games. That's it. But from what I gathered from other people and just from what I've seen, they have good potential, and I'm excited to see where they take it.
I love turning a negative into a positive. So when you went up to see their last games of the season, which ended up being canceled, which was May 3rd, which was supposed to be a doubleheader, and May 4th against Stonehill, how did you turn no games into something fun when you went up to Syracuse?
It was just nice to get together. You know, we got together, we got to see each other, whether it was lunch or dinner or just going over to my friends' houses and just hanging out with each other. So that was something that we wouldn't really get to do if you had games, but it definitely was a lot of love on the seniors, definitely a lot of comforting them because they were like it hit them hard, and it's not a way you want to end the season, but you just got to be there for them.
So you spoke about the things you miss the most, which the friendships, which will last forever, but you miss being there with them. What do you miss the least?
Oh God, probably like the 6 a.m. practices,
Okay.
the bus rides. Didn't like the long bus rides either. The homework. Don't miss the homework.
So I'm going to ask you this because I want to know. I've never asked any other person this. I don't know why, but so I don't really have them anymore. But years after being in college, I would have these real like just dreams that I was either in college or in high school. A lot of times in high school, and I had forgotten to do the homework, or I didn't show up to class in college all semester, and now I have to take a final. So I kept having like these reoccurring moments of being in class. Do you have any nightmares of you forgot to do your homework, you didn't study, you're missing a class? Have you had any school nightmares after being out?
Oh my gosh, yes. I've had one where like I was late to a test or I was late to practice or anything of that manner. And I was like freaking out when I woke up. I'm like, I'm not even there anymore. What am I doing?
So, for you, as we're here with Laura Bennett, LB, in this edition of the Dolphin Dive, in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Lemoyne on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Laura, when you look back at your time at Lemoyne and you've had some time to reflect about it, do you have a moment or two that really just hit home for like that you just lean on and you say, like, this was a moment where I really saw myself go to that next place, like reach my potential, or this is a moment of adversity I didn't think I could get through and I got through it? Do you have a place or two when you think about competing that you can just go back to and say, like, this is one of my proudest moments, or this is a moment that I'm always going to keep in my back pocket for a rainy day?
Sure, I think one of those moments was the year right before we went D1, where we
Okay.
went to Georgia and played. We played some really good teams, and they were ones that we didn't see routinely or anything like that. And I think one of those games stuck in my mind, and also just going D1. Sorry, my cat's just watching.
No, you're
Um,
good.
Going D1 for the first year as well. Everyone kind of had those jitters of, holy cow, here we are. We're going D1 and we're playing the D1 teams. And honestly, like, the Binghamton game sticks out where it's going to sound a little negative. We only lost 2-0, which you might be like, oh, we still lost. But like 2-0 against Binghamton at the moment was huge. Like,
Right.
they didn't get huge hits one game. And that was one game that stood out where I was like, okay, yeah, we can hang.
Yeah, and you mentioned that, and I completely understand that. Like you said, I mean, some people say it's still a loss, but you look at when you're especially making the transition, that if you can hold a team close, especially a team like Binghamton that just won the America East this season and won
Mhm.
36 games this season, went to the NCAA's. So there's a lot to be said about that program. For that move, you just alluded to it, the reclassification move. You came to Lemoyne when it was NCAA Division Two, and they made a
Mhm.
decision to go to Division One. Now we're here in May, so they're officially in year three of the transition from when they made the decision, which became official July 1st a couple of years ago. So it'll be officially official year three on July 1st. But what can you kind of reflect upon of what you learned personally and as a team that maybe you saw of this move from Division Two to Division One? Because none of you student athletes signed up for this, right? So what can you say to it?
Um, there's definitely a time of being like proud and looking back on it and just seeing like the resiliency of the team and the leadership that was shown and shined through game after game, practice after practice, and really just like grit and drive and trying to just go all in on it. I mean, we don't have anything to lose.
Right.
There was nothing. It was just a mentality of all in. We didn't have anything to lose. We might as well go out and hustle our little hearts out, and that's it.
Yeah, and you, like you said, you have nothing to lose in that moment, and obviously it's not something you can control, right? It was a decision made by the school. How did you and your teammates react to it when you got the? Well, first, how did you get the news? So, how do you remember hearing of yes, we're going Division One, and then secondly, how did you as a team react?
I honestly don't. I honestly don't remember. It was towards the tail end of the year, and there were just a lot of. I remember there being a lot of texts, a lot of emails back and forth of meetings here, meetings with this person, meetings with a different department. There were a lot of meetings that went through, and we just kept reading like our news and everything like that and staying in contact with our coach. And it was just, I don't remember the moment we found out, but I remember the whole process being a little chaotic. I do remember that. We kind of had a feeling it was gonna happen. I mean, we heard the rumor, we knew about it for a while,
Yeah.
so it wasn't something that took us totally off guard. But again, there was some excitement from some people. Some people were nervous. There were all different kinds of emotions. I mean, like you said, it was something we didn't sign up for, so you just kind of got whole spectrum of emotions going on.
Yeah, no, it definitely was a unique time for Lemoyne, and as they get ready for year three, going into it. What would you say you learned the most about that? About the fact that you were a part of this transition, you were a part of the move to Division One. Obviously, you're seeing new teams, you're in a new conference. So here you are finishing up your career at Moyne, and you're playing a lot of a new schedule, right? So, how was that experience for you to say, as I'm a vet on this team, I feel like I'm almost coming into an entire new situation?
Um, I honestly was very open-minded towards it. It gave me a chance to challenge myself. I mean, you were seeing hitters from a pitcher's perspective you've never seen before. So it was something to work on your game in practices and during games. Really throw yourself out there and just challenge yourself.
Here with Laura Bennett as we're here in this edition of the Dolphin Dive. I want to go through your history a little bit here. In 2021, as a redshirt freshman, 16 games, started 12, pitched 81 and two-thirds innings, went 9-4, had something that most major league pitchers would love to say, which is an ERA that was a 1 point something, a 1.37 ERA, 10 complete games, 4 shutouts, 81 strikeouts. And then in 2022 as a redshirt sophomore, and folks, please understand, there's so many things that I can read. I'm reading pieces of this, but there's a lot to go back in your history and be appreciative of. 31 appearances in 2022, 23 starts, first full season on the Heights, 187 strikeouts, eighth highest single season strikeout total in Moyne softball history, and just 23 walks and 149 innings pitched, 15 complete games, 6 shutout victories, 13 wins, allowed just 1 run and recorded 10 strikeouts in 7 innings against Felician. There's a bunch of other pieces I can mention here. And then in 2023, redshirt junior, 35 appearances in the circle, 25 starts, 188 strikeouts, only 37 walks, and almost 180 innings pitched, 22 complete games, 3 shutout victories, 16 wins, had 10 strikeouts against Westchester on February 10th, and against St. Thomas Aquinas on March 16th, also 10, and had 8 strikeouts for a shutout win at Dieuville on March 21st. That's just to name a few things here. You were Northeast 10 All-Conference on the, well, this must be a typo. It says second team and third team. Obviously, the NE10 meant first team there. I don't know why that happened. I'll have to let them know that you're a first team, not a second or third. But when you look back on all of those moments, right, and just reading through some of the accolades over the years from 21 to 23 even, I mean, you got better each year. You steadily raised your game. You raised your wins. You were a good pitcher who became a better pitcher, who became a really, really good pitcher for Moyne. As you reflect on your time in softball and you hear some of those numbers read back to you, what does come to your mind?
It's just crazy. I mean, for someone who doesn't, of course, like everyone goes back and looks at their stats, but to kind of like hear it back after you graduate and it's like not a part of you anymore, it's just, it's kind of crazy. That's a lot of innings, a lot of innings, a lot of games, but I don't know. It's just, it's such a weird feeling because it's something that you don't really ever think about ending, and now it's ended, and you know, it's just a little strange.
And I'm looking at 2024 as well. And I know, obviously, making the transition to Division One and that being the first season of transition, the record of 10-21 that you had there as you were moving off, I want to give accolades to a record that, despite it being a losing record, we're going to turn a negative into a positive. Your record in 2024 is my birthday, October 21st.
That's funny.
So when you look at the numbers of the steady rise all through your time, and then in 2024, as the team's making this transition to Division One, obviously the win-loss record is going to be different because, you know, not all of it's on the pitcher, not all of it's on the hitters, not all of it's on the defense, right? You're making that move to Division One, a lot of new opponents, and a totally new conference. So statistically, I don't think that your 2024 numbers speak to exactly who you were the entire time at Moyne. How did you navigate through that? Like you said, you go back and you look at your stats, but when you're making a transition and a reclassification from one division up to another division, we're not just talking about switching conferences within the same NCAA division. How do you reflect on the numbers of 2024, fully knowing that it was such a very unique situation with a lot of adversity?
Um, going back, you have to remember like all the feelings and almost like when you make a transition like that to a higher division, you almost reset yourself as an athlete. Like the confidence goes back to the plateau. You have to basically do a little check in with yourself and almost remind yourself that you are a good player, you can do this, you are capable of it. And really, it just goes down to the work ethic that just keep doing what you're doing, keep working, try and find a little more each and every day to get better. And, the numbers might not reflect it, but I know what I did, I know what work I put in, and, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and you look back at 2024, almost 200 innings pitched, 191 and two-thirds innings, and within that, you had 28 starts, 39 appearances in one season alone, and as far as strikeouts, 153 to walks, 30. So there are a lot of numbers there that ring true to your statistics, showing that whatever division two or one that you were in, you absolutely knew how to strike them out more than have them walk. And the more that they asked of you, you still came through. So a lot of positives I see from looking back on those numbers, Laura, of what you did when you made that transition.
Um, yeah, again, it's just about the work that you put in. And, there were times where it was very stressful and you kind of had to take a step back, and it was easy to get overwhelmed and kind of fall into like a little spiral, but you just had to know when to control yourself. And yeah, those are some crazy, yeah, it's a lot of innings. It's a
So
lot. It's a lot of innings.
yeah, we look back on it, and it's, I mean, easily over 300 innings pitched. I mean, when you hear something like that, what do you think about knowing that? I mean, you pitched almost 200 innings in 2024, a year ago, and then all the stuff we were talking about ahead. I mean, we're talking 400, over 400 innings. When you sit and you think about that, over 400 innings in 4 seasons, that's that's a lot, LB. That's a lot of work out there.
It's definitely a lot, but I honestly wouldn't change a thing. I love pitching. I would get as much mound time as I needed, and I just loved it. I embraced it, and don't get me wrong, there are definitely some games where I was like, "Whew, okay, here we go again." But at the end of the day, you had to embrace it, and it was just something I loved to do. So I wouldn't take a second of it back.
How did you keep your body so healthy? Because we look at pitchers in softball and baseball, and I mean, pitchers are having surgery young. They're going through things as teenagers, being overworked. I mean, what did you do in your regimen to stay so healthy? And they say the best ability is availability, and you were pretty much what always available. So as available that any pitcher could be. So what do you reflect on that you did that you felt like, hey, this works? This would be my advice to another pitcher coming up.
Oh Lord. I I don't. I honestly don't really know. I mean, as a freshman, I did get shoulder surgery, and I have two screws and some wire in there, and my doctor assured me it would not come apart. You can pitch however much you want, and it wouldn't come apart. So if you need surgery, one, find yourself a good doctor.
Okay.
But also, as you get older, take the time to stretch. Take the time in the warm ups. When I would go do my warm ups pregame and in the bullpen, I spent 10 minutes warming up, and the majority wasn't even spent full pitching.
Okay.
It was just the little mechanic stuff, and really take the time to warm up your body. Coming from New York, it gets chilly up there. Run in between the innings if you have to. Do little like jumping jacks in the bullpen. Keep yourself warm at all times. keep the arm going, moving. You don't want to get stiff at all. It's not going to be good.
I love that stretching, and I would second that and echo that. Full force. The older you get, make sure that you stretch, especially. So, favorite pitch, favorite type of pitch, style of pitch that you've ever thrown?
Oh, my rise ball. I love with a passion my rise ball.
Pitch that was the most difficult for you to learn, and you feel like you finally mastered it.
Mm, Probably my drop curve. There was a lot of back and forth with it. It might be great for a long time, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, it just wasn't. It did not work, and that was something I had to work through more than once.
Okay.
I have to say. So that was not necessarily my worst pitch, but it was just odd how sometimes it would be good and sometimes it wasn't. And
Okay, fair enough. Before we jump into rapid fire, Tracy Roman, your head coach, what do you want to say about Tracy? A lot of the work has been on her over the years. A lot has been asked of Tracy. I know how much she cares about the program, but you're on the inside. So, what can you say about your head coach?
she definitely cares for the athlete. She's a coach that you can look to and that you can go to, who you know won't necessarily tear you down. It's someone who I felt as though I could go and talk to about anything that was going on, whether it was on the field or off the field issues. And it was someone who I know would comfort me and give me any advice that I needed. But she really does care about the girls and the athletes, and that's something that some schools can't say.
I love that, and I know Tracy will appreciate that. Laura, it's time to play rapid fire. You get to ask me the first question. We can ask each other anything in this edition of the Dolphin Dive. So, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Um, if you had like your own school, what would be the mascot that you would choose?
Oh my gosh, I've never been asked this question before, and it's a wonderful question. I would have to have a dragon or a raptor because I love history and I want to believe that dragons were real. And I also I also know that, obviously velociraptors were. So I do something of that sort. I will tell a very quick story because my dog is the best. So Lily, my little Havanese, as we saw your cat. So my dog Lily, she's all 10 pounds of her. During
Oh.
COVID, I was sitting on the ground of my friend at the time's apartment, and I'm just sitting there, and she's my kid, like that's my daughter through and through. So I'm sitting on the floor and I got my legs open, and I wanted her to come like sit with me. So I was like, Lily, come here. So she starts to walk toward me. Now I'd never tried this before in my life, but in the Game of Thrones TV show, if you wanted your dragon to spit fire, you said Dracarys.
Mm-hmm.
And so Lily was walking toward me. I looked at her, and something inside me was like, just do it. And I went, Lily, Dracarys. And she was walking. She stopped dead in her tracks. She looked at me and she burped. And I said, oh, she tried. So, like, yeah. So I would have a dragon to honor my dog.
Very
And,
nice.
yeah. All right, Laura, I love that question. All right, Miss Bennett. Hmm. If you went into any TV show or movie world and you had to live there for the rest of your life, where would you go and why?
Good question.
Thank you.
Oh gosh, I have to think about everything. Honestly, like I feel true and true. You can't go wrong with like saying a Harry Potter or even like The Hobbit. I feel like you can't go too wrong with either of those.
Okay. And what's your why?
I grew up watching Harry Potter. Also like the Marvel movies. I feel like a Marvel universe would be such a good one. I just grew up with both of those universes, and it's my dad and I's thing. We loved watching them together, and that's just something that I don't know. It's just so cool. Like the little fantasy worlds are just so interesting to me.
All right, I love it. What's your dad's first name?
My dad's first name is Wayne.
So shout out to Wayne. I want to show Wayne some
Yep.
love. What's your second question for me?
So I recently saw that you went to Italy.
Yes.
What was your favorite place that you saw?
So difficult. Everything was awesome, but I will say, well, I was going to say two things, but really it's one. So going to a place that's named after, like, same name as my family, that there's a
Mhm.
Tortora, Italy, was insane, and the beach was insane, and the rocks looked like God had painted them, and I took a ton of the rocks home. So,
Um,
but I will say my favorite part was Maddaloni, which is where my dad's family's from, and it's by Naples, by Napoli. And we took a train there from Napoli, and I randomly, as God works in my life, I was going through some things personally, mentally, and emotionally that had kind of weighed on me, and God just decided I was going to climb a mountain, and I did not know I was going to climb a mountain, and so I started climbing up this, walking up this mountain, trying to find this chapel, and it was to the Stations of the Cross. So here I am, where my family grew up, and I'm walking up a mountain simulating Jesus's path to the cross, walking with Jesus. And as I got to the top of the mountain and I got to his cross essentially and got to the church, I spoke with him up there as we always talk, and looking out over Maddaloni and seeing where my family grew up, to know that that's the first mountain I climbed, that I did it with God, that he gave me the strength every time I asked for it, and that I got to leave. I told him, I said, I'm going to leave a bunch of things at the foot of your cross. I'm not taking them with me. This is not past. This is present and future. If I worry, if I fear, if I doubt, if I second guess in the future and in the present, those stay here. So when I go down this mountain, I'm getting rid of a lot of habits. I'm getting rid of a lot of things that I don't need, and I'm not picking them up again. And my life since then is about staying true to that promise. So I'd probably say that.
oh, I love that. That's a great experience. I'm so glad you had that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I want to go back to you and Pops, you and Wayne.
Hmm.
So you and your dad are in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You can make your dad any superhero. You can make yourself any superhero. So I want to know who dad's going to be, and I want to know who you're going to be, and I want to know why.
Oh, he would totally be the Hulk.
I knew you were going to say that.
He totally would.
Okay.
I don't know. That's hard. I feel like Spider-Man would be so cool, but I feel like I gotta say Wanda. There's just something about having those types of powers that you just can't beat. Can't beat it.
And you already have the hair. You got the
It's
hair.
perfect. It's fitting.
So, all right, Wanda, what villain would you face? I got to know.
Mm, I don't even know. Maybe Ultron. Honestly, the
Okay.
whole it. There's a couple scenes in there that's just tricky to me. But you gotta stay true and true. You can't do better than Thanos. Like saying you defeated Thanos. You're amazing.
There's nothing better. Miss
Nothing.
Bennett, speaking music to my ears, you have the final question for me, and I'll have one for you. What's your final one?
If you again to travel, if you could hop on a plane tomorrow, where would you go?
Well, we're down to my second home of the great state of Florida. Shout out to the
Mhm.
Sunshine State. Much love. Got some brothers down here. My other parents, I call them my aunt and uncle, Papa Joe and Mary, and my nieces, which a couple of my nieces are down here. So Carly and Gracie. So I love Florida, but if I could get on a plane right now, I would go to Spain to see the rest of my family and to see where we're from and to have the food and to just really experience all of it. It looks amazing. My family has watched and listened to the show from Spain, which to me is an honor way too like I way more than I deserve, and to just have them out there doing that just really hits me some kind of way. So I want to see my family. I want to just spend time with them. They said get a plane ticket. They said you have a place to stay, you have food, like literally you just have to get here, and we
Yeah,
got
that's the easy part.
yeah, they're like we got you from here. So
Mm-hmm.
I definitely would go to Spain. So,
Very nice.
and I'm still looking for my bride, Miss Bennett. So I might have to go overseas at this point. I don't know if these cold weather women like me. So
Expand the horizons.
that's right. So my question back to you, final question. All right. Okay, I like this. I'm going to do this because you and I have connected over the years. So I'm going to give us a task. You're going to be the president of the United States.
Oh God.
I'm going to be the vice president. I want to know the first thing that we do as president and vice president. And I want to know the first thing that we do, and I want to know the song you pick for us to come out of the plane.
The first thing we do,
Yes.
like activity, or like we're passing like a new order.
We're passing something. We have all the power in the world. We're going to do something.
I feel very strongly about plastic usage.
Okay.
And I feel as though the packaging companies, if it's already once wrapped in plastic, the inside also doesn't need to be wrapped in plastic.
Okay.
So I would pass a new order to find a little bit more sustainable packaging on most things.
Probably the best answer I've ever gotten. What's our music? We get off of Air Force One. What's playing?
Just to be really out there and outgoing, probably like Bad Boys.
I love that. And
Yeah.
I could tell you right now that I am Martin Lawrence, and after you get past Bad Boys, what you gonna do? I'm the one going because I have no idea what they say.
Perfect.
So, but with that being said, I want to say this on the air. You have been awesome, and from the opportunity that we got to talk when you were at Moyne for the first time to right now, like we connect on social media, so you and I kind of watch each other's lives and what's going on and whatnot. And I'm just really grateful that we've had this connection, and I hope we always keep it because I really do appreciate you and I want the best for you. So the friendship that came out of doing one interview one time a couple of years ago, I really can't be more thankful for that. The fact that we just kind of clicked and connected, and I think that's really cool. So I really do appreciate your friendship, and it's an honor to call you a friend. So that's how I want to end today.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad we built a connection and a relationship as well. I'm glad that we kind of are like experiencing all of this together now, post athlete now. So yeah.
That's right. We're doing that. We're experiencing that as we prepare for 2028's campaign. So, as always, Laura, I appreciate it, and I look forward to keeping in touch with you.
Of course. Thank you.
I want to thank you for tuning in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT for audio and video, and our live internet streaming radio that comes to you on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. And of course, once we go live, we jump into the archives, and you can find us on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. And many thanks to the wonderful Brooklyn Pickle in Southern Pines, North Carolina. From New York to North Carolina, you'll find them on 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina, right down the road from Pinehurst Golf Course that the PGA Tour knows all too well. That New York flavor, a sandwich, all of those great sandwiches, all the ingredients, all of the wonderful things we've been spoiled with in the great state of New York are down in North Carolina as the Brooklyn Pickle ventures down the coast to Southern Pines on 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Let them know that DT sent you. And of course, many thanks to our team of partners in Central and Upstate New York, Great Lakes Honda City, where you can go Monday through Saturday for sales and service and get yourself new and used vehicles. If you want to tour what they have on the lot, go to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. You also get the phone numbers there for their sales and service at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. And I want to thank Great Lakes Honda City for over a decade of me bringing home vehicles that I have enjoyed. So many thanks to Great Lakes Honda City, our exclusive studio partner. Carvel DeWitt, Carvel DeWitt, the exclusive home of the DT Dolphin. It's our ode to the Moyne College Dolphins. You will find our DT Dolphin Sunday on site on location down the road from Moyne College on 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. Carvel DeWitt, the longest standing franchise in America with the DT Dolphin exclusive. And that is mint chocolate chip, whipped cream, and a cherry, hot fudge, green and gold sprinkles, and a chocolate dolphin jumping out of your whipped cream. Get it 7 days a week, and on Wednesdays, buy one, get one. The Wildcat Sports Pub, where we proudly call home to our West Genesee shows of over 8 years. With the West Genesee Wildcats coaches and student athletes, as well as their families, you'll find us at the Wildcat Sports Pub on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. GG Cards and Breaks, your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. A place that helps you be a big kid, no matter what your age is. And you can celebrate it with your parents, your grandparents, your friends, your neighbors, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. GG Cards and Breaks is a place for everyone of all ages, because our kid spirit should always, always be vibrant and strong. GG Cards and Breaks, where you can find them Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6, Sundays from 10 to 5, and of course, 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse is the location. And monthly, we have Trade Night, where you could buy, sell, and trade sports cards, as well as Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, and Disney Lorcana. Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world. You'll find Ma and Pa's on 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York, with multiple types of freeze-dried candy, as well as cotton candy, lemonade, and a plethora of flavors when it comes to kettle corn, popcorn, and premium corn, like the Elvis, which is banana-covered popcorn with the peanut butter Reese's drizzle, the way that Elvis liked peanut butter and banana. All of the wonderful things that you see are made in-house at Ma and Pa's. The lemonade, the cotton candy, the freeze-dried candy, as well as the popcorn and kettle corn. Find it all on 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. And if you're out of town and you want to order it, and I just made your mouth water, go to Ma and Pa's Popcorn.com and you can order today. Avocolis, our home of our Liverpool athletic broadcast with student athletes, coaches, and administration every single month on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, at the corner of Wetzel Road and Route 57. And if you stand on the corner, you can see Liverpool High School within walking distance of Avocolis, open 7 days a week. As well as Servomation, reinvigorating, re-energizing, reimagining what it is to have vending, whether it be at your high school, your grammar school, your preschool, your college, university, place of business, rest stop, airport. Servomation, the technology they have, the assortment, the variety that they have, and the quality of food. I've toured their facility in upstate New York, and you wouldn't believe the kitchen. There's restaurants that would beg to have a kitchen like this. Servomation does it differently, and I'm very happy to say that we are partnered with them. Servomation.com. Go there for more information. Mother's Cupboard, the home of my breakfast sandwich exclusively in Central New York, 3709 James Street in Syracuse, 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. You will find the Cuse McMother, bacon, egg, and cheese inside of 2 pieces of French toast. Cut it up and have it with some syrup. Pick it up and eat it like a sandwich and dip it in the syrup, and do it today. Chick-fil-A Cicero, the first Chick-fil-A in Central New York, and owner-operator Jim Rusakowski, a brother of mine. You don't want to miss out on Chick-fil-A, and Chick-fil-A Cicero specifically is a step above, in my opinion. There's people that are proud to see you, team members that are incredible. Chick-fil-A Cicero, they do it to the nth degree. They break the mold, and you can find those team members in our series, The Light Between Us, which airs every single month. Go to youtube.com/WakeUpCallDT and search the Light Between Us playlist. Canine Camp Dog Daycare. There's no better place to bring your dog out in East Syracuse. Daycare. Hey, we all got stuff going on, and sometimes we just have to drop our dog off so that our dog's not sitting at home in a kennel or just being at home by themselves. The daycare at Canine Camp Dog Daycare on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, across from BJ's, is the perfect place to go because of Lorraine, because of Chad, because of the care, concern, and the service to our wonderful animals. Head over there today, and of course you can call them at 315-437-7110 or go online to K-9 KAMP.com. Pizza Man, who we absolutely love going every single month and having our Baldwinsville Bees broadcast at Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville, New York. You don't want to miss any of those shows we do on site, on location, including Off the Rails with Al, featuring college football national champion Al Romano, who played with Tony Dorsett as a Pittsburgh Panther and hails from Solvay. A lot of great things we get to do at Pizza Man. Love the Bees and appreciate the support that you have for their student athletes, coaches, administration, and families. And Brian's Landing, a place that we love to go out to in Jamesville. Brian's Landing, the menu that they have is eclectic. There's nothing on that menu where you sit there and go, oh, okay, like this is what the menu is because these 5 things are alike. No, everything is different. Something for everyone. 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. The perfect place to go with a team, the perfect place to go with a friend, the perfect place to go on a date or bring mom and dad. Brian's Landing makes you feel like you're away from home on a vacation when you're just out in Jamesville by the water. Head to Brian's Landing today. And of course, many thanks to the Moyne College Dolphins, Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse, and the Binghamton University Bearcats for being our exclusive multimedia marketing partners. Moyne you will find Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time during Dolphin Time. And of course, you'll find Binghamton on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time during Bearcat Time. All of our teams are on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find our Moyne playlist, our BSC Syracuse playlist, and our Binghamton playlist. You'll also find the Dolphins, the Bobcats, and the Bearcats by going to WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to LeMoyneDolphins.com as well as Syracuse.bscbobcats.com and BinghamtonBearcats.com. For now, from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I say God bless, no stress, do your best. This is Wake Up Call. I'm Dan Tortora, and remember, God loves you.